Hello and welcome to Minding Her Business. I am so excited to be here. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so excited about the whole thing. This thing has been in the works and in my mind for such a long time, and I'm glad to finally be here. It has been a very long journey for me, and everyone around me have heard about it for so long. So it's exciting that it's finally starting. If you don't know me, if my voice or my face is new to you, my name is Maya Mobbs. I am 19 years old and I am working in the mining industry. I've worked in the mining industry since I was 17, and yeah, I am a multi-skilled operator. I work 7 and 7 roster, and yeah, I work about 5 hours away from home, and I have done that since I've been in the industry. So we'll do a little bit of background about my working industry. So I started off in the mining industry in 2023. October of 2023 is when I started, and my first ever job in mining was working away from home. And I think that was probably a bad thing because I hate working in town now. After having a 7 and 7 roster, it sucks working in town for me personally. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why would you want to work away when you can work in town? Not for me. I am meant to work away from home. I fucking love it. It is awesome. Worked away in the mines. I work on an open cut coal mine. I don't work in production itself, but I do work on an open cut coal mine. So my first ever job was a TA, so we had a project of putting fire pipe, fire water pipe up on conveyor belts and along conveyor belts and everything. So that was my first job. In that same contract, my first actual job was rebuilding a conveyor belt on a ROM tunnel, which was so cool. It was so cool. It was awesome to experience. It was awesome to see how it worked. It was awesome to be involved in that. Yeah, rebuilt a whole conveyor belt, and so that was really cool. But that same project, we actually moved to fire water and then put pipes up everywhere. So I was there for I think about 8 months before our contract ended, and so that was awesome. But when that ended, I had no idea what to do. It was very abrupt, it was very sudden, so I had no plan B. I didn't know what to do. I was very scared because I was also very new to mining, so only 8 months isn't a long time, and it's not enough to go to a new job and be like, oh yeah, I'm fully experienced. So I think it's a year in mining. For the first year, maybe 2, you're still very green, so it's still very hard to get back into it. But I was very, very, very lucky. I ended up working at a quarry at home in my hometown for a bit, and I really wanted to get into operating, so that's what I did. I worked in this quarry, which was awesome. I operated dump trucks, I operated diggers, I started getting the loaders on the weekends. It was just amazing. I owe so much to that company. Like, they really taught me so much, and they're the first people to put me in machines. They were the first person to give me a go and believe in me, and it was just amazing. But the reason I left that job was because I wanted to work away. After working away for my first job, having 7 days off, and then I was working Monday to Saturday on this job, only having Sundays off. So it was a lot different to having 7 days off every 2 weeks. So for me, it just wasn't the roster I wanted. So I ended up applying for a new job and then got the call for the job I'm at now. So I've been at the job I'm at now for 7 months. I'm a multi-skilled operator, and yeah, I work back on the same mine I did the first time, actually, which is very cool. So the first mine I ever worked at, I'm back at. So I've only ever really worked on one mine site and a quarry. But I love it there. I really do. I know where everything is. Like, it's just comfortable. It's like a really comfortable feeling being in the same mine that I was over a year ago, which was awesome. Obviously, different company, different section of the mine, but same place. A bit more about me personally. I feel like, if you're going to be listening to me and watching me, we should probably get to know each other a little bit more, and, you're going to get to know who you're listening to. So again, I am 19 years old, worked in the industry since I was 17. On my days off, I enjoy everything. I go out fishing sometimes. I go out for driving, camping. I love it all. I love going down the beach. I love taking my dog to the beach. I love everything outdoors. I love going out with my friends all the time. I'm a very people person. I don't like just sitting at home all the time. I do like having, my home days. My first day at home and probably my last day at home, I'll stay at home and not do anything, but from, the 5 days that I've got out, I'm always out of the house. I love going in adventures. So that's a little bit about me personally. So, male-dominated field. Why did I get into it? Fun fact, I did not want to at all. I had no interest in it. I had absolutely zero interest in going to a male-dominated field. So scared, so terrified. But the money. The money is really what convinced me. It is fantastic money in the mines. If you work in the mines, you obviously know, but crazy money. So that is the reason that I actually started. My original plan was to work out in the mines, only work there for a year, save up for a house, buy a house and leave. That was my original plan. I obviously have not stuck to that because I've been in mining for almost 2 years. But it's obviously changed as I went along, which was awesome. I really do enjoy what I do now, and I stay there because I enjoy the work. I really do. I have so much love for it. I have so much passion for what I do. And the community, the people I work with is awesome. So that's the main reason I'm in it now. And obviously the money is a very big factor. The money is awesome no matter what you do. No matter if you're a TA, you're an operator, you are a tradesman, whatever it is, money is awesome. How did I actually get into it? I was working a little coffee shop job. So I was working there for about a year. I dropped out of school in grade 11. And my parents came to me one afternoon, right before exam week actually, which was fantastic timing for me. They come to me and they just offered me to drop out. I hated school, never went, never wanted to go, was never paying attention, was always failing. I hated school. It just wasn't for me, which I'm sure it's the same for a lot of people out there. But yeah, I hated school. So my parents come to me one afternoon and they said, hey, you can leave school if you want, but you have to find a full-time job. And I was like, done. Absolutely. Get me out of this place. So that's what I did. I left school. I found a full-time job at a coffee shop while I was trying to get into the mine. So while I was at this coffee shop, I was getting my tickets. I was applying for heaps of jobs. I was talking to people that are in the mining and in civil and everything, trying to find what would be best for me. And I ended up getting a call October 2023. And that's where I landed my first job in mining. Was so excited. Was so happy to finally get out there. You know, at 17 years old, that's crazy. Like, starting in the industry at 17 is insane. So I'm just so grateful for that opportunity, so happy for it. But yeah, so at that coffee shop, I was earning $200 a week, if that, working Monday to Sunday. So I was working every day, earning $200 a week. So going from that to now working, 7 days and having 7 days off and earning a lot more than that was just an insane change. It was crazy. But also working 5 hours away from home was also a very, very, very big change for it, and I was not ready for what was to come, to put it the best way. But I'll get into that a bit later. Probably next episode I'll get into what it was like and what I dealt with out there. But that's just a little bit about my work history. I think it's important to also talk about today, why do I want to start a podcast about women in mining? And why do I think I'm obligated to do so? Well, I wanted to start this. So what kind of sparked my idea was I make a lot of TikToks about the work I do because I like talking about it. I really do. Like I've said before, I love the work I do. I love my industry. So I like to talk about it. So I make a lot of TikToks about my industry. I make a lot of TikToks about what I do and everything. And so I made this one TikTok and it was about men's mental health in the industry. And it was just saying, you work with people 3 times your age, what's that like? And just had a lot of quotes. Like, it was a slideshow with quotes of what men have said to me while I've worked in the industry. And there was one day I was reading through all the comments and there was one comment that said, I'm going to message my dad, thank you. And just like reading that just made me feel so good. Like, it was just such an insane feeling, like thinking that I've helped at least one person with just making a little video, like a 10-second video. It's helped one person and it's got this daughter to reach out to her dad and ask if they're okay. Like, just that, insane. And so from that, I was like, okay, what can I do? Like, I really want to help people. Like, I want to do more of this. I want to make more of a difference. So what can I do now? And so that's when I started thinking about this podcast. And I had dinner with my dad on my first day of my job that I'm at now. I work in Middlemount, so we're at Middlemount having dinner, and we're talking about Joe Rogan's. And if you don't know who Joe Rogan is, he's a podcaster. And I was talking about him, and my dad actually said to me, you should make a podcast. And I was like, well, I don't know what it'd be about. And he said, well, look what you're doing. Talk about women in the industry. Like, there's not a lot of people that really do that. Talk about that. And I was like, oh yeah, but I don't think people would really listen. But if you don't start, you'll never know. So that's why we're here today. But why do I actually want to do it? So that's what kind of sparked my interest into it. Why do I want to? I sort of touched on it before, make a difference. I really want to make a difference. I really want to help other women in the industry. I want to help other women and men, everything. But mainly this is about women in the industry, how to get into it, how I got into it, what's easiest and everything. I really want to help other women get in mining because it is not common at all. And I also want to I want to shine light on the topics that aren't easy to talk about as well. So I really want to express the fact that there are going to be hard things that you need to face and there are going to be hard topics. And I really want to talk about that and express that mining and FIFO and working in the industry isn't all glamorous. Yes, the money and the roster, amazing. Wouldn't change it for the world, but there are a lot of hard situations that you will have to go through. And I really want to talk about that and talk about the fact that I have gone through these situations and how I handle it. So if there's anyone that listens, there's another girl that's listening that has gone through the same thing or is going through the same thing, I don't want them to feel alone, and I want them to have a bit of guidance. If you don't know what to do and you're going through the same thing, here's what I did. This may help you. This is what you should do, type thing. So that's what my main focus is going to be about. I really want to help. I want people in FIFO and DIDO to feel less alone, because it is and can be very, very, very lonely. And you talk to anyone that's in the same situation, they'll completely agree with that. It can be so lonely. So I also want to help make other people feel less alone. And I want to do more in life. I felt like I wasn't doing enough. I really did. I felt like, I wanted to make a difference. So that's my main thing. I feel like I wasn't doing enough, and I really want to do more. So that's another main thing that's going to come from this. And my main goal to come from this is to help. That is the other thing. Even if I just help one person feel less alone, my goal has been 1,000% achieved. That is all I want to do. I just want to be able to help. And so, that's what I'm here for today. So today is going to be just introducing myself, saying hello, explaining what I'm about. And so what am I going to be talking about on my upcoming episodes? So obviously everything that I've kind of stated above today is going to be talked about in more depth. Today, again, like I said, is just more of an introduction to say hello. I also want to talk about how to deal with it. So my main focus for this whole thing, I am not going to be talking about civil, because I have never personally worked in civil construction, so I can't talk on that subject. So it'll be about mining, and mining only, and more of a TA role and operations, so in operating machines and stuff, because that's what I personally have experience with, and I don't want to talk on topics that I haven't experienced. And how to deal with night shift, how I've always dealt with night shift, because I've only done night shift for a couple months, so I want to talk about how I deal with that, what my routines are for that, how to help with it, everything, and how I deal with FIFO in general, how I've dealt with harassment, everything. So kind of like my story, how I dealt with it, how you can deal with it too. I also kind of want to go away from mining too. I want to make a couple episodes that are life-based. So obviously this main focus of this is mining, is women in mining, the industry, male-dominated industry as a whole, but personal experience mining. But I also want to talk about life. I want to talk about life events, so breakups, how I got through breakups, friendship breakups, toxic friends, toxic relationships, everything. So I really just want to be everything for you. I want to be a big sister in this world and explain how I've gotten through things and how to help. So that's pretty much what it's going to be about. Next episode, I'm going to be talking about, is mining the right industry for you? So I'm going to be talking about how to get into mining, and what you can do, what tickets you can get, everything. I really want to just help. So next episode is going to be talking about how to get into mining, how I got into mining, what tickets you need to get, how much they can cost, everything. So that's what next episode is going to be about. But like I said, today is just to help, and help you understand who I am, who you're listening to, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of it for today. It is a very short one, so I'm sorry. Next week will be a bit longer. But I just wanted you to get to know who you're listening to, why I'm talking about it, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sorry that today was a little bit boring, but if you did listen and you got to know me a little bit more, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. So sorry if my camera angle and my audio and lighting of everything has changed. I just realised at the end of that my mic cut out. So I'm just redoing my outro. So like I said, thank you so much for joining me. You have no idea how much I appreciate it and how excited I am that this is finally here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you again next week, next episode. I think I might be publishing 2 at one time. So if this is out, there is a big possibility that the next episode is already out. So go ahead and listen to that. If not, it will be next week. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.